On Monday, U.S. President Barack Obama spoke to more than 400 Chinese students at the Shanghai Museum of Science and Technology. Obama spoke and answered questions on a range of issues, including freedom of speech and religion. However, it's not clear how many Chinese people could actually see or hear the event in the media. A scheduled live video stream of the event on the website of state-run Xinhua News Agency turned out only to be a transcript of the event, and while it was shown on a local Shanghai TV station, it was not broadcast on national television. During the hour-long town hall-style meeting, Obama brought up the issue of freedom of expression.
These freedoms of expression and worship, of access to information and political participation, we believe are universal rights. They should be available to all people, including ethnic and religious minorities, whether they are in the United States, China, or any nation.
Obama also voiced his support for internet freedom while answering a question about China's Great Firewall.
I think that the more freely information flows, the stronger the society becomes. Because then citizens of countries around the world can hold their own governments accountable. They can begin to think for themselves. That generates new ideas. It encourages creativity.
Although news of Obama's comments appeared quickly on several Chinese media websites, including Xinhua, they were almost all taken down soon after, and any attempt to access these pages shows they've either expired or been deleted.
If the world turned a blind eye on such horrific and detailed allegations, it would be a disgrace to all of humanity. Even though the Chinese communist regime set up many barriers to the independent investigation, people with a sense of justice did not give up. They expanded their focus from Sujiatun to the whole of China and were determined to find out whether the regime really harvested organs from living Falun Gong practitioners. On May 8, 2006, at the request of the Coalition to investigate the persecution of the Falun Gong in China, former Canadian Secretary of State for the Asia-Pacific region David Kilgour and renowned international human rights lawyer David Matas formed an independent fact-finding team to investigate the allegations that the Chinese communist regime had been harvesting organs from living Falun Gong practitioners. The Chinese embassy in Canada rejected Kilgour and Matas' visa applications. However, one person did succeed in entering China. He was Mr. Edward McMillan Scott, Vice President of the European Parliament. From the May 20th to the 24th, 2006, during his preparation for a Human Rights and Democracy report for the Foreign Affairs Committee of the European Parliament.
The friend disappeared one day, and the next time he saw him was his body, the friend's body, in the prison hospital with holes where body parts had apparently been removed. After the meeting I had with these former prisoners, they were all arrested. Cao Dong was later convicted of meeting me, of just a Vice President of the European Parliament.
Let's take a look at China as compared to Russia, for example. There has been no reform in China, liberal reform at all. And what we've had, there's no freedom of speech. there's no freedom of press, there's no freedom of assembly. Now in Russia you have some of that now, and you have opposition newspapers and parties. There are no opposition parties in China. Anybody who sticks their head up in China is immediately thrown into prison. And worse than that, I think the worst part is, in Russia today, the former communist country, the churches are full. In China, what you have is an ongoing repression of religion. People like the Falun Gong, who are nothing more than people who believe in yoga and meditation, are being thrown into prison by the thousands, and there's sometimes, and there's all sorts of evidence suggesting that they are being beaten to death in order to steal their organs and sell their organs. Now, it doesn't get much more ghoulish than this, but that doesn't even touch bases with the suppression of the Tibetan people and the Uyghurs and many other groups within China. No, the Chinese government is a gangster government. It's setting up an alliance of rogue regimes around the world, and it should be treated as an adversary that's an anti-democratic adversary.
It is, I think, important that the regime in Beijing knows that we know what's been going on, and there will certainly be that people will be held accountable in due course, as has happened now with the Gaddafi regime, or in other parts of the world where the International Criminal Court is pursuing cases against dictatorships, and one day it'll happen to the Chinese as well.